How's it going, everyone? Liam Catterson here. This is episode number 7 of Angel Season 1. It's, eerie because I was thinking about, how we're at episode 7 of Buffy and time has really flown by because it feels like it was yesterday since I first started watching Angel, City of. And here we are, we're several episodes in, 1/3 of the way through, and I've been really enjoying this show so far. It's been an absolute blast. The tone has been a bit darker, but it's nothing to complain about. It's been a very, very fascinating ride with some very interesting stories so far, especially the last episode. We've got to focus on Kate, which was great. She's not, part of the main trio, I guess, but she still plays a big importance, I guess, in terms of the show. So having a bit of characterization and exploration of who she is was very, very great, as well as the episode going into a bizarre way with the adversary of the week and what he did to not just the police force and Kate included, but also Angel. We got to see a more laid back Angel thanks to that demon, and it was absolutely crazy. But it was a great episode. So yeah. But with that said, let's get into episode number 7 of Angel Season 1. This is The Bachelor Party. Let's go.
Well, how's she feel about men with an Irish accent?
Well,
Buffy. Yeah.
he's still trying to move on.
I'm sorry.
Oh no! Oh, Doyle! Oh, Doyle!
Man, I hate that.
Oh!
I was about to do that.
I'm sure,
Get
buddy.
this guy home. Doyle, stronger when you're a demon, right? Why'd you shake it off? Just don't like the fight.
Oh my god. Cody's gonna save the day, isn't she? Oh no! It was just looking a bit tense.
Are you okay?
Could keep me in blue boxes for the rest of my life.
Blue boxes.
You mean like a
Tiffany's.
TARDIS?
God.
Oh.
And the whole night I was bored silly. All I could think about was if this wimp saw a monster, he'd probably throw a shoe at it and run like a weasel.
I mean, to be
Turns
fair,
out the shoe part was giving him
vampires,
too much
but
credit.
There aren't very many people who would run.
PS is
So I've got to kill myself. I swore when I went down this road with Xander Harris, I'd rather be dead than date a fixer-upper again. Still maybe
Doyle's not that bad.
Maybe Doyle does have hidden depths. I mean, really, really hidden. But depths.
Here we go.
And I
Let's
kinda
get
have
the
to
shit
blame Al
rolling.
Pacino for saving my life, don't you think?
Well,
Me too. We'll be back in a half. You watch the phones, okay? You give us 5 minutes. Hey, Francis.
Whoa!
Harry.
What?
Francis?
What? Francis?
Where you been? That would be me.
I think
Alan
Doyle
Francis
has Alan Francis Doyle.
Cordelia, this is Harry. My wife.
Yikes.
You are, really.
I'm not Doyle. He is.
Oh, that's cool. Not that you're not a very good-looking man.
Richard, just shake his hand.
Forgive me.
I mean,
Not quite
Angel is a
myself, but
stud,
with the wedding only
but-
a few days off now.
There's a wedding.
I wasn't supposed to say.
You shouldn't blame yourself for that. I mean, you were kids. It's only natural.
What, the sneeze and sprout demon face? That's decidedly unnatural, my friend.
You didn't tell her before you got married?
Oh,
I
that'll
didn't
do it.
know.
Some people.
I never met my dad. He was the demon. And my mom, well, she figured she'd wait to see if I got his genes before she got all confessional.
So your demon self didn't present?
Yeah, just in
Until I
just in
was
case,
21.
I guess. Man. better be black market roses because. Richard's a bad demon! Oh no!
Right there, Pumpkin.
Oh no!
He's a demon!
Well, yeah. Oh,
So she
You know?
knew?
honey. Be explored.
But you didn't tell him that.
Of course I did. I even tried to get him to go out, meet other demons, at least go to one mixer, you know? But he couldn't accept himself. Or them.
Harry.
So
Oh.
then he was just angry and pretty much a bitch to live with.
And it was too much
He's a
for
demon?
you.
And she's all signed on to be Mrs. Demon? Tell me again how ugly he is.
I think Harry's got a really
Once a nomadic tribe.
unique
At one
and
point they did
wonderful
have
heart.
You know, Harry didn't leave because of the demon in me. She left because of me.
Oh. You made a mistake, buddy. I feel so bad for Doyle, but yeah.
Thank you, Doyle.
Yes, thank
Bring out the food, then drink. Yeah. Then comes the stripper. Darts. And then we have the ritual eating of the first husband's brains. And then charades.
Wait, whoa.
Wait, what was that? Charades.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Really? I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, you know what? Charades is the true demonic thing. The eating of the brains.
He's a real bachelor here.
Yeah, and thanks for not rubbing that in by the way.
Let's set you up with a beverage.
Dada Bahuda Managatant.
Corwith Kanana. Corwith. Duh.
Are they speaking some language?
Grade 3rd taught Doyle taught 3rd grade. The kind with children? Well, yeah. Are you sure you wouldn't
Cody's
just tell that
stunned.
as a cover story? Francis got his teaching credentials before we even met at the food bank. Okay. Soup kitchen, now that sounds...
Me?
I have to have your blessing, Doyle.
Yeah.
Without it, there won't be any marriage.
Just flat out say
Fellas.
to him. Just don't eat his brain. Oh God.
Excuse me.
What's your problem?
How long were you standing there for, buddy?
Disrespecting me.
No?
So now I'm a liar?
This dickhead. Yeah, they're all just a bunch of dickheads, aren't they? Ow! Ow! What? These guys deserve a kick in the face. Come on.
liquor.
You just threw him out a window, you stupid bastards! It was part of consent, wasn't it? Even though he didn't consent to having his
I
brains
just want to
eaten.
say how incredibly moved I am by your sacrifice. I hope that doesn't make me less of a man in your eyes.
You're a dick.
Sort of tradition. I was just wondering.
Well, they're certainly not going to eat your ex-husband's brains.
Welp,
For instance.
you're just as subtle as Harmony.
Angel!
Hansel, this is a shrimp fork. He's gonna eat the guy's brains with a shrimp fork?
Well, pardon me if our ancient ancestors didn't leave behind any former husband brain-eating forks.
Get a soup spoon, you moron.
Bear with us, we're a little fuzzy on the etiquette. This ritual hasn't been performed in...
No, Doyle, hey!
Party's over.
You brought a vampire to my brother's bachelor party?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Harry says I should mix with other demons, I'll mix.
Yes! Come on, Doyle! Embrace face it! Woo!
You really shouldn't be here.
Well, you shouldn't be trying to eat my friend's brains. You horrible, ugly demon people.
No, Cordy!
It is so not okay. Doyle! Oh, look what they did to you!
About these barbaric Animovetian customs.
Racist! You're nothing but a racist!
I should have told you.
Are you
I'm
kidding
sorry.
me?
But unless we complete the ritual, my family will never consent to the marriage.
Then the marriage is off then.
Someone has to go out there and cheer him up. Oh, please. Someone with a heartbeat.
Okay, you don't need to crucify the guy.
You'll get through this, Doyle. Nice guys don't always finish last.
You think I'm a nice guy?
I think it, I say it. It's my way.
That's true.
Feeling better?
Buffy! Buffy! Are we gonna have Buffy?
What'd you see?
Are we gonna have Buffy here? We're gonna have an Angel episode with Buffy? Because if so, I'm happy with that. I'll be happy with that. And Buffy and Angel once again, yay! I mean, I don't care. Like Riley and Buffy ship, take a backseat. I'm here for Angel. No, yeah, I'm really excited for the prospect of crossover. Like we're gonna have crossover. Like I mean, we had Oz appear, but it's kind of like Buffy bleeding into Angel and Angel bleeding into Buffy. It's Arrow and Flash and Arrow. So yeah, I'm game for that. I am really, really game for that. So bring it, as the kids say. But yeah, I really dug that episode. It was very quirky. It was very Doyle centric, which was great. Had some very, very interesting villains of the week. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't call them necessarily villains. More so, they were arrogant pricks. Although then again, they were happy taking the life of someone to better that marriage, to make sure that marriage was secure. Which it's not statistically proven. No, it's not statistically proven that eating an ex's brains will lead to a long and happy marriage. Because yeah, just be a decent human being. Because I think that's kind of the point, isn't it? Because these guys were far from it. It seemed so. Yeah, they were pretty much dicks. So yeah, I'm sure that Richard guy was in Buffy as well. I think somewhere in season 3. I'm sure I've seen his face before. But apart from that, it was great. It was great learning like a lot about Doyle and his past, and not just that though, but some of the characters, Richard and like his clan. They were a very, very interesting race as well. Harry was a pretty great character as well. I thought she was really greatly established. Which I'll get onto more in a moment. But yeah, I thought this was pretty fun for an Angel episode. Dark. It was leaning to dark territory. I'm surprised they didn't cut open his head or something like that. Or begin. Like they start drawing into with the blade. But yeah. I really loved how that episode went by because we had another episode focusing a bit on a certain character, Doyle. Like, we got bits and pieces of him in episode 5. But this was a fully focused Doyle episode, rather than, okay, well, here's a little teaser for things to come. whilst we're focusing on another character at the same time. So yeah, we got a bit of that, as well as having adversaries for this week not being villainous, really. They just really had questionable methods. So I really liked that. Like, the Anomovic demons, they were pretty much living in peace. They pretty much wanted to be humans' best friends, basically. There was nothing villainous about them whatsoever. They didn't want to burn LA to the ground or enslave humanity. Well, for me, they had a bit of arrogance about them, but they also had some very, very iffy methods because, eating brains. So, yeah, but it was part of their belief, wasn't it? They followed that belief very, very strongly. And, yeah, there was a bit of arrogance to them, like them picking a fight with Angel. Like, I'm not so sure how much of the conversation, probably all, that guy heard from Angel. But I thought the fight was, unwarranted. If you wanted to live in peace, it was pretty much unwarranted, especially a gang up on one person as well. So, yeah. And they were pretty much PC about the whole Harry being not accepting on what Richard was doing, saying that she was a racist, which was a bit overblown, like the fight, because it's not racist whatsoever, I feel. It's just, humans, people eating brains. Doesn't sit right, does it? But this is the thing, though. Like, there's some religions out there where, for example, you might love your meats and all that, and that's totally fine. It's also totally fine if you follow a religion that is very restrictive on eating pork, for example. And if a person doesn't feel like that relationship can work, then that's completely fine, because they don't want to add complications whilst they're eating pork and their partner is very, very restrictive on that. There doesn't want to be any of these complications. Same with Harry, and that's the thing. Complications did kind of fracture both relationships for Harry. But yeah, it doesn't make her racist whatsoever. It's just that she might not, that's not her lifestyle, and it's something that that would potentially cause complications in their relationship. And if anything, I don't think as long as you're a decent human being, which that's pretty subjective for Richard, because Richard wasn't really a human, was he? No, but as long as you're a decent character, which Richard did actually care about Harry. He thought that Doyle was a decent dude. Yeah, he had good. He thought well of humans, so that's a plus. As long as you're a decent person, you could just skip the whole brain eating process, because it's not really a guarantee, is it? It's just part of a ritual. It's not like it's going to infinitely charm the demon. It's not going to infinitely charm Harry to the demon. Just be decent, be kind, be loving. You got a nice, healthy relationship. And Harry was definitely that as well. So I think them two could have worked things out if, the whole brain eating process could be skipped to one side. So, yeah. But I'm sure Richard, the guy who played Richard, was in Anne, who was also a human pretending to be a demon. Although this demon was actually evil, whereas Richard, he wasn't. He wasn't evil whatsoever. Just had some very, very iffy methods in this episode with the arrogance that followed, and I don't know. I think if anything, of the Anomovic demons, Richard's friends were more arrogant than Richard himself. Richard seemed to be a more swell guy, and so. But in this episode, Richard, the guy who played Richard, was also a human pretending to be a demon. Just this episode, he wasn't evil. He just had some very, very of course, you're not going to let Doyle perish. So, yeah, he had to be stopped. He had to have his ass kicked because we don't want Doyle. We don't want Doyle to perish, do we? So, yeah. And yes, they have strong beliefs about the whole brain eating process. But like I said, I'm sure having a nice, honest. Which that was part of the problem. You were going to enter our marriage on deceit, so yeah, and that was another issue as well. Like just thinking on that line as well, and I think I said it during the reaction, anyways. But he carries a bit of Parker because Parker, like with the whole "you have my consent" thing, he was very, very vague on the details, and it assumed that Doyle knew what he was talking about. Same with Parker. Parker thought that Buffy just wanted sex when she actually sought for something more. And they both led both Buffy and Doyle into a difficult place, didn't they? So yeah. And I think this could have been brushed over, like if Doyle actually spoke with not Doyle. Richard spoke with Harry, or Harry even speaks to Richard because she was with a demon before, and differences and all that, like their differences kind of fractured the relationship. So if Harry knew about the fact that Richard was a demon, then a good talking to would be beneficial. And that way, like, because this is the thing, yes, she does love to explore other demon cultures, but you can't expect her to know everything. And especially, I don't think the anamorphic demons are dumb whatsoever. I think they have, if anything, like, if they're not average in terms of intelligence, they're logical. So surely they would be smart enough to realize, okay, well, humans might not feel comfortable about the fact that we eat their, ex's brains. So I think we should clear that up just in case they might feel a bit uncomfortable. And if they don't feel comfortable, fine, we'll find someone who might be comfortable with that. You get the idea. A nice little communication wouldn't hurt now and again. And I think clearing the air and making sure that this person is okay, that would be suffice. So yeah. But hey, things fell apart at the end of the day, and yeah, plenty more fish. Well, there's a lot more fish in the sea for Harry if she loves her demons, because like not everyone's gonna love demons, but Harry is a very, very intriguing character though. Like especially her exploration and the fact that she wanted to find out more about demon culture after the Doyle revelation. I thought that was pretty neat. Her character was pretty sweet, and I'm glad that she wasn't really the problem. If anything, Doyle was kind of the problem, but it was an accident. It was that miscommunication. Because it was the fact that Doyle assumed that Harry's acceptance of his demon lifestyle was basically smoke and mirrors. It was all an illusion to make Doyle feel a bit more comfortable. And I'm glad that him rejecting his demon side is kind of the reason why several episodes we haven't seen too much of his demonic side. If anything, little glimpses. Because their marriage fell apart because of Doyle. Like, he couldn't accept his demon side and thought, okay, that's the be-all, end-all, and Harry's just putting up an illusion. I'm sure she thinks, like, in her thoughts, it's disgusting, and she's just putting on this front. So, yeah. So, yeah, I thought that was... And I like how mature the realization was handled in this episode, like especially when Doyle thought, holy shit, she was actually being genuine about her accepting my demon life. He accepted that responsibility and said that nice that really impressive line about the fact that Harry didn't leave because of the demon in me, she left because of me. which is parallel to what Angel said. It's not the demon that needs to be killed, it's the man, in amends of Buffy. So yeah, and I think there's a little theme going on, because Whedonverse shows, they do like to touch upon real world subjects and explore them in Buffy shows, for example. I think there's a little bit of, just because you might have something that's not considered normal doesn't mean that you're not attractive anymore. Doesn't mean that that person doesn't want to spend the rest of their days with you, which is a big worry for me, especially being autistic. And before I got with my current girlfriend, Chloe, I was worried that my disability would be very off-putting, and if people like found out sometime later, they would just be like, "Oh, I can't handle that." Because this is the sad truth: people are very judgmental about a disability, like physical or mental. They think that you're a lesser person because you might have autism, for example. When autistic people are pretty intelligent, and they do, they can be pretty talented, but that's the annoying thing about the world. They think a disability is just a hindrance. It's something to hold you back. And I'm glad that I have a girlfriend like Harry, I guess. Like my girlfriend didn't freak out about the fact that I was autistic, but she was accepting. She said, if anything, this does make you more unique, because she has a brother who's also autistic, and she knows that autistic people can be pretty talented. So I feel like there's a little sprinkle of the aspect that just because you might have something that others consider to be not normal doesn't mean that it's game over for a relationship and all that. So that's my 2 cents of it, just based on personal feelings. So yeah, some people might think that's a bit of a stretch. That's okay, but that's my 2 cents about it. So yeah. Yeah, it was a great episode, though, focusing on Doyle and how his how he realized that he was the problem with him and his relationship with Harry. So yeah, because like I said, it was handled very maturely. When he found out, he realized this would be the best for Harry because this was all on me. So yeah, and it was kind of surprising that Doyle was like in a relationship as well as other activities as well, like he did, like in terms of jobs and whatnot, especially to Cordy as well. So yeah, but that's another thing. Cordy was really impressive as well, like being comforting to Doyle towards the end and the beginning when Doyle saved her life. There's nice progression there with Doyle and Cordy's relationship, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing them two blossom into a beautiful ship. But yeah, Cordy saying that she's grateful about Doyle saving her life, which is pretty big. Like Cordy's been like to Doyle all this time. But now she's growing more to him, especially with that talk with Angel about, the fact that a ship could potentially happen. I gotta say, I loved, when Cordy went on her date with the ever so exciting Pierce. I gotta say, there was that parental vibe from both Angel and Doyle, like seeing Cordy go out on her date with Pierce. So that was that I don't know, that's what I thought. So, and I thought it was pretty cool stuff. So yeah, but yeah, it was a really great episode. Like I said, I loved, I know I can't stress it enough, but I mean, there was some funny bits, like the whole fork situation when they were wanting to eat Doyle's brains. Like, you've got a shrimp fork, get a spoon. So yeah, yeah, I can't stress it enough that the maturity of Doyle realizing he kind of mucked things up, yeah, I love that so much. Like, lesser shows would have had several episodes spanning the over dramaticness of this, but like this was like half an hour, if anything, and well, not even that. And Doyle realizing his mistakes was handled really, really well. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good episode, and I'm really excited to see how Buffy gets intertwined with this, because that was something. Of course, we saw her picture as a bookmark, basically. No, it's great to see that Angel is still trying to find a way in terms of how he's going to get past, how he's going to try and get over Buffy. Yeah, Buffy potentially returning next episode. Awesome. So yeah, this was a pretty good episode. Like I said, there was some hilarious moments from the Animorphics, especially the older woman saying, well, they're not going to eat his brains. Said too much. So yeah. But yeah, this was a pretty awesome episode, I feel, like exploring a bit more of Doyle's character, and his past, and having a very, I feel like this was strong in terms of presenting Doyle's character. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty good this was a pretty good episode. So yeah, and hopefully we get to see a bit more of Doyle accepting his demonic side now that he's kind of come to the realization that it's no longer, it can no longer be a hindrance, more of a strength. So after he realizes that, like, Harry did cherish his demon side, so hopefully we get to see a bit more of that in future Angel episodes. But yeah, this was pretty good stuff, pretty tasty stuff, especially if you're Animorphic. So no, but it was a good episode. I loved the focus on Doyle in this episode. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check the videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my Media Pizza channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!